Bombers are feeling rather blue, black and blue. They secured a playoff berth last week with a victory over Saskatchewan, but it came with a heavy price tag. Starting quarterback Kent Austin left the game in the first half with a bruised shoulder. Leading running back Blaze Bryant left the game with a pulled hamstring. And in the second half, Reggie Slack broke his thumb on his throwing hand and is probably out for the season. What is Cal to do? Tonight, the focus is surviving the eye of the tiger in Hamilton. From Ivor Wynn, it's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. TSN, you're always live and interactive. You can play QB1 with tonight's football game. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the CFL Live. I'm Darren Detition. We're glad you joined us tonight for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Let me introduce to you our studio panel. To my right, it's Marty York, columnist for the Globe and Mail. To his right, Les Brown and the coach, Bob Obilovich. As you saw, there is a torrential downpour taking place in Hamilton tonight. It's going to make the field and the conditions very greasy. Coach, who does that favor?
I think tonight with the weather, it's really the third opponent in this ball game, and I think that whoever does the best job of holding on to the football is probably going to win the football game. But with these conditions, I think it favors Winnipeg tonight because of the running game. On a dry day and a good day, I would have taken Hamilton.
Les Brown, will Winnipeg be able to move the ball against the Hamilton Tiger Cats? I mean, the Ticats have the worst defense in the Canadian Football League. They give up over 31 points per game, but you say they're getting better.
Well, they're getting better because they're getting healthier. Now they have basically back on that front four is Gonzalo Floyd, one of the spiritual leaders on that team, with Mike Campbell. And with Phil Brick and Mike Campbell and Jesse Smalls, with those four together again, the last time they played together, they were awesome. And in the secondary, they're getting people healthier again, too. And they have Sam Rogers coming back, backing up Brett Young, where Brett Young was out for a while, but he's back and he's getting into game conditions. And they also have Gary Lewis, who's back in the secondary as well. So that team is going to get better. You know, they've given up a lot of points, but they've got to get better.
Well, they're going to have to get better against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight, but you say all is not well, Marty York, in Winnipeg.
Well, that's true, Darren. Last week, Shannon Baker, the receiver, actually took a punch at the quarterback, Reggie Slack, but it goes way beyond that. The Blue Bombers have a team filled with self-centered players, egomaniacs, if you will. Katie Williams is a terrific, one of the most dominating defensive players in the CFL, but he's been spending an awful lot of time lately worrying about going to the NFL. A lot of these guys have their own personal agendas. I think it's going to be a tough task for Cal Murphy to get them all on the same page.
You know what, if Winnipeg does have one thing going on their side, and that's history. You know what? They have not lost in Hamilton dating back to August the 15th, 1990, but it is going to be nasty tonight. And for their thoughts, here's John Wells and Leif Pettersson.
Darren, as everyone knows, the top two Blue Bomber quarterbacks are banged up, and that means that Kevin McDougall will get his first start of 1996. He had a couple of starts last year, won one and lost one, but he faces long odds here tonight.
Well, John, he hasn't had a whole lot of playing time since he left Notre Dame University, but he's a big guy, 6'2", 200 pounds, got a pretty strong arm. That's what he did a year ago. Of those 8 games he played in, 3 of those were starts, and as you can see, as most young quarterbacks have trouble with, more interceptions than touchdowns. His numbers this year 6 completions in the games he has played in, and again, interceptions plaguing him with 5 interceptions, only 1 touchdown. The good news for Kevin McDougall is he's got some terrific running backs in Dean Lytle and Blaze Bryant, a big offensive line. So if he's as smart as I think he is, he's going to try and get that running game going in this kind of weather.
Well, Dean Lytle is also from Notre Dame, so we'll see if Lytle and McDougall combine in a Notre Dame backfield for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight. It's not going to be easy for either side. This is what it looks like from our vantage point. Everyone out there is going to get very wet at Ivor Wynne tonight.
Well, we're quite cozy here in the studio in Hamilton. They hope it's raining. Ticats and touchdowns. We got the Bombers and we got the Tabbies coming up next. Stay tuned.
The reviews are in. Leading industry publications agree that correct.
Welcome to CFL Live on TSN. Not a great night to be a football fan. At Ivor Wynne in Hamilton, it's been raining all day, but there are a hardcore group of Ticat fans on hand at Ivor Wynne tonight, and that's what they're sitting under.
It is one ugly night here in Southern Ontario, and it's been raining since about noontime steadily all day today. It's supposed to stay like this all through the night. So the players, and I agree with Bob Obilovich, it may come down to who can hang on to the ball best on a night like tonight.
Sam Rogers is deep for Westwood's kickoff, and it's coming up short, bouncing toward Rogers at the 25. Slowed momentarily and away from a couple of tackles before he's dropped near the 37-yard line. On a 13-yard return, Greg Clark made the tackle. Anthony Cavillo is the starting quarterback for the Tiger Cats for this one. He's been effective in his last couple of starts and on target to help the Tiger Cats set a team record for the number of yards passed. The outside receivers are Marcus Grant and Earl Winfield. Inside it'll be Jason Phillips and Matt Cody. And to run the ball, Mike Saunders with a little help from Bert Thornton with Cavillo at the controls. The starting lineups brought to you by Corral at Ivor Wynne tonight. It'll be a Ticat first down at the 38-yard line. Cavillo goes to the shotgun, and that one is tipped. Gerald Vaughn had a chance.
And Anthony Cavillo is going to work against the 4th-ranked defense in the CFL so far this year. 3-4 alignment. John Kropke over from the Ottawa Rough Riders on the nose. As usual with the Bombers, a strong core of linebackers. Angelo Snipes leading the league with 14 sacks. The secondary anchored with Damian Lyons on the corner and young rookie Shannon Garrett. Greg Fears in the middle over from the Calgary Stampeders, his first year as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. And of course, let's not forget K.D. Williams. Marty York talked about him in the opening with a personal agenda. I agree. There's a lot of guys in this team for Winnipeg that have personal agendas. See if they can put it together tonight.
Bombers offside on the previous play, making this 1st and 5 for Cavillo and the Ticats. 2 plays, 2 penalties.
Did I actually say I agreed with Marty York?
I think you might have agreed right there.
Take it back. Get them all excited there.
This time it's a procedure call against Hamilton.
Legal procedure. Hamilton, number 13. First down repeated.
We'll move it back 5 yards. First down over.
Don Southern had a great start this season. 4 wins in the first 5 games. Then injuries took their toll on his Hamilton Tiger Cats. Cal Murphy's Blue Bombers in a much better position this year than a year ago when Winnipeg was 5 wins and 10 losses after 15 games.
We're up right to the strike. We're not more than the ball right there.
It's going to be a difficult night to keep the football dry.
Well, I think it'll be impossible, and we'll see how Anthony Cavillo and Kevin McDougall can cope with trying to throw it tonight.
Cavillo got it away and fired short. Big pressure from Snipes as he looked for Matt Cody.
Well, Angelo Snipes is just one tough customer to try and block, and Hamilton tries to do it with number 4, Bruce Thornton, who's playing their super back position. He's a wide receiver playing in there, and if they're going to allow that kind of a mismatch tonight, the Hamilton offense is going to have a long evening, because you can see what Angelo Snipes has done this season, and he's going to have a terrific night if they choose to use that type of a blocking scheme against him.
No sack in the previous play, but he was awfully close.
Well, I'll tell you what, coaches will be happy with that kind of pressure anytime, even if they don't get the sacks.
2nd and 10, Tiger Cats. Mike Saunders made the catch, and he stopped after a gain of about 5 yards. Well, making about 3, but it's a kicking situation for the Tiger Cats. And K.D. Williams was there once more.
Well, again, I mean, you get the best of both worlds. They get terrific pressure, and they get solid play in the secondary by K.D. Williams. You know, that screen was pretty well set up, but he's got tremendous speed. He is a heck of an athlete. He's a bit, you know, he marches definitely to his own beat, but you can't take away from the fact that he is a terrific football player.
Osbaldiston back at his 25. Basinger deep for the Blue Bombers, standing near his 25-yard line. Osbaldiston has had a terrific season for the Tiger Cats. It'll be a heavy ball to kick tonight. This is Boyko, the short return man, out across the 40 to about the 41 with an 8-yard return. No score so far. No first downs either. CFL Live from Iverwin in Hamilton on a very rainy night. Kevin McDougall gets the start for the Blue Bombers with Slack and Austin on the sidelines. The numbers for McDougall so far, 6 of 21. The telling tale, 5 interceptions, 2 of those picked off by the Hamilton Tiger Cats earlier this season. Austin is dressed for this one, but trying to remain a little bit dry with a shoulder problem on the sidelines. He'll be the emergency quarterback tonight only. Bombers beginning out across the 40 at the 41 on first down. McDougall on target at the 55. Eric Gulliford brought it down. That'll be a Winnipeg first down, a 14-yard gain. Gulliford and Freeman Basinger are the inside receivers. Myron Wise and Shannon Baker outside to run the ball. Blaze Bryant with a little blocking help from Dean Lytle, who, like McDougall, is out of Notre Dame University. And up front, Van Conant in the middle, Pandelides and Robson, McNeil and Wolby. McDougall 1 for 1 on a first down. The intended target. McDougall had to rush it.
Jesse Small
took a little heat from Jesse Small, 97.
You know, it's kind of funny that Winnipeg comes out throwing the football. We all felt that they would run with a young quarterback, but I think you have to keep in mind, as you see Jesse Small with the pressure, Hamilton's secondary and pass defense is worse than the league. They give up over 300 yards a game through the air, so maybe not so surprising that Winnipeg feels the easier way to the end zone against Hamilton, maybe through the air.
Gulliford to the near side on 2nd and 10 Winnipeg. Little play action fake. Lytle makes the catch coming out of the backfield, but lost a yard. Calvin Tiggles, 73 for the Tiger Cats, seeing his first action in 11 games. He missed 11 with a broken arm.
Well, they are happy to have him back, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they've given up so much yardage through the air. He is terrific in his pass coverage, and as you can see, that was a tough play to make out in the middle of the open field, and Calvin Tiggles did it quite easily. He's a leader. They have missed his leadership in the middle, and he is going to make this a better defense tonight. There's no question.
Bob Cameron back near his 40-yard line with Sam Rogers ready to return from the Ticat 10. Bad snap, and Cameron has to get back and fall on it. Big break for the Tiger Cats. Gonzalo Floyd back to pin Bob Cameron, and that one went right through his hands.
Well, that's a slippery ball, because you know what? That's not a hard or difficult snap for the punter to handle. I mean, you get good vision there. Bob Cameron just didn't hang on to it, and you know, that's one of those mistakes early. And you know, we go back to what Bob Obilovich talked about, and I concur. The team that hangs on to the ball best may have the best chance to win this game, and already Winnipeg has made one major mistake.
Almost a guarantee of 3. Ticats set up at the 25. Cavillo, shotgun, low snap. Looking deep. Tipped away. Evans and Garrett combining on the defensive coverage.
Well, Shannon Garrett, the corner, really fooled Anthony Cavillo. You know, Bobby Evans was beaten initially by Marcus Grant going to the corner. There you see it. But all of a sudden, Out of the blue comes Shannon Garrett, and he makes the play just in front, and that's a heck of a defensive play. There it is.
The ball was there.
Well, he left his man and came over and helped out.
It'll be 2nd and 10 Tiger Cats as the discussion continues down there. Someone has parked the ambulance in front of the 20-second clock down to our right down here. Or down to our left, I should say. We can see the one to the right.
Well, there you see it. So when Anthony Cavillo is trying to make sure he gets the snap off in time and he's looking that way, he can't find that clock, and that's not fair.
2nd and 10, Ticats at the Bomber 25. Cavillo has one batted down.
Calvillo's pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
Marcus Grant was the intended receiver. Osbaldiston comes in.
That's the second pass that's been knocked down already by this front 7 of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Are doing a nice job at getting their hands up and trying to distract Calvillo to the left. And here it comes. 48, Charlie Clemens, and actually it's his left hand that deflects the ball just enough that there's no way that Cavillo can get that pass in there.
Kerrigan will hold for Paul Osbaldiston. Good on 71% of his field goals this year. Spotted at the 32. No doubt about that. As suggested, almost a guarantee of points from the turnover. But it could have been worse for the Blue Bombers, who set the Ticats up near the 25.
Hi, I've lost my credit card.
No matter where you are in the world,
If
your MasterCard.
Kevin McDougall making his first start for the Blue Bombers in 1996. Blaze Bryant is his running back, making his 5th appearance in Bomber Blue so far this season. 1 touchdown, 181 yards rushing. Last week, 8 carries, 50 yards. These aren't typical Blaze Bryant numbers, or at least what we would have expected he might put up.
Well, I think what we expect is for him to see the football a heck of a lot tonight. And so far, Winnipeg has come out throwing on their first possession.
Ken Austin on the sidelines. For the Bomber head coach, Cal Murphy, 1st and 10 Winnipeg, trailing 3-0 for the Tiger Cats. Couple in motion out of the Bomber backfield, and Blaze Bryant gets the call. Tingle helped slow him down, number 73.
Tom Gerhardt, Jesse Small on the stop.
Jesse Small was in on the tackle. And Bryant has a couple, maybe 3.5 yards.
Well, after being out for 11 games, I think Calvin Tiggle's a guy you may want to keep your eye on tonight, because not only is he going to have some fresh legs, he's going to maybe want to show the reason why this defense has struggled is because he wasn't in the lineup, and already he's been very active on these first 2 possessions of Winnipeg.
Call it a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. McDougall to the near side. Freeman Basinger couldn't hang on, lost his footing down there.
3rd down.
What kind of shoes would you be wearing out there tonight, Leaf?
Wet ones.
I was referring to cleats, of course, but
Well, this one just came up, you know, it was a tough catch to make. Not only did he lose his balance, but the ball was behind him. No, you look at these kicking situations. Early in the game, I would just come after the punter all the time. I mean, I don't think the kicks are going to be that great that you're going to get super returns. I might just go for the block almost on every occasion, and there is only one Hamilton return man back, Sam Rogers, right now.
Cameron had the last snap go right through his hands. Hangs on to this one. He'll get it away. Coming down short near the 40, and no return for Rogers, but he does draw a flag. 0 on the return, 33 yards on the punt. And Earl Winfield, the great Ticat veteran, in his final year in the CFL, he says this will be it.
No yards.
4 touchdowns on the season. Almost 100 yards last week, or at least in the last game against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he's got an outside shot to still reach 1,000 with 3 games remaining. Boy, you look at that punt and the no yards penalty on Darius Watson, 33-yard kick, 15-yard penalty. Winnipeg Blue Bombers only netted 18 yards out of that exchange.
Ticats will begin right around midfield with a first down. Hamilton leading 3-0.
You know, already, you know, you've had a fumble on your punt. You net 18 yards on the next one. I mean, those are two pretty horrendous special team situations for Winnipeg.
Cavillo at the controls for the Tiger Cats. He's used the shotgun all night to his favorite receiver, Matt Cody. Needs a block. He's gone. 56 yards. And a great block from Jason Phillips with a little celebration in the end zone. This guy has had a sensational season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Number 10, Matt Cody.
Well, he sure has, and Cavillo got the time to throw. A good pocket for him to step up into, and you know, it's going to be tough to cover these Hamilton receivers if Cavillo gets time. I mean, Gerald Vaughn was not even close to Matt Cody there as he picks up his 11th touchdown. Watch the block, Jason Phillips. Not a killer block, but just enough that Shannon Garrett couldn't get a hand on Matt Cody, and the Ticats strike very quickly after that most favorable field position.
Net result, a 56-yard touchdown. Anthony Cavillo combining with his favorite target, Matt Cody. And now the Tiger Cats extend the lead to 10.
I didn't read something to you. I read this.
Here's the flip for his 11th touchdown of 96. Some kind of year for Matt Cody. The Ticats slot back, coming into the game already leading the league in touchdown catches, and he stretches it out a little bit on Alan Pitts.
Yeah, and Anthony Cavillo, we talked about him having time to throw. Watch Doug Davies, the center, step up and take Katie Williams here. Greg Clark will come all the way around, and Mike Saunders takes him there. You know, earlier in the year, Tony Stewart was at running back. He couldn't block anything on the blitz, but now Hamilton picks that up perfectly. Cavillo, good vision downfield. The end result is Matt Cody touchdown, but it's through great work up front by the offensive line that he had the opportunity to make that catch.
Cavillo's 10th touchdown toss in 1996.
Well, you know you're going to get lots of blitzes to pick up, and Hamilton did a great job there.
Shannon Baker takes the Ticat kickoff, tries to stay out on the far side and can't quite regain his footing over there. 23 yards on the return.
Right in the touch.
Almost looked like he hurt his leg there, Shannon Baker, when he went out of bounds. He really held up at the edge, and he's having difficult time getting back to the huddle, and he's a game breaker that the Blue Bombers really need. There you see, he's really struggling. He took a shot as he went out of bounds.
Both Baker and Gulliford come into the game with a bit of an injury. Cal Murphy was hoping that he'd get a full game out of these guys between them, and will likely have to fill in with Sean Graham.
Well, I mean, you talk about Hamilton and their injuries. I mean, Winnipeg sure had their share too, and in fact, Shannon Baker will not stay in. He has gone out of the game.
From the Winnipeg 38, McDougall on first down to his right, trying to regain his footing, and really didn't have it out there. He's rolled out by Gonzalo Floyd.
And this is a pretty good front four. You got Floyd, Philbrick Campbell, and Jesse Small. And, of course, we've talked about Calvin Tiggle after 11-game absence will start. I love Justin Ring. He's starting his 8th game, a rookie from Simon Fraser at an outside linebacking spot. He has done a good job in his starts in the secondary. You know, they give up 300 yards a game. We talked about that, but I still think Donnie Robinson and Derek Greer are good on the corners. They've had injury problems, an inconsistent lineup, and I think that's been their problem as much as anything.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. McDougall. Brett Young was covering on Basinger.
You know, Brett Young was worried there. That ball was so late getting there by Kevin McDougall that, you know, Brett Young was worried. He created some contact with Basinger, but, you know, this is good coverage. The ball is just so late that sometimes that creates the, you know, that's a close one. They may have called that, but it's just because the ball was so late getting there. He took a peek at the referee as soon as that play was over because he was sure the flag was coming out.
Not that time. Cameron back at his 20. And that's Sam Rogers waiting at his 29. Not deep again, but high. Rogers comes up, takes it on the run. Hanging on near the 50-yard line in the grasp of Gerald Vaughn, a 5-yard return. And here comes Mac Cody. Some kind of year coming into the ball game. Cody was second among CFL receivers in total number of yards, and he's had 4 100-yard games in succession. That's pretty nice number for a receiver in any league.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. You know, he had a great rookie year last year and brought over in the dispersal draft. There you see 1 catch, 1 touchdown. Not a bad average for the night.
Nice number tonight.
I mean, you look at consistency. I mean, all the Hamilton receivers, with the exception of Marcus Grant, who only has 18 catches, they've all had pretty good years, but Mac Cody has had an outstanding year.
Cavio on first down. Goes to Cody again. He's got it. Down to the 30-yard line. 33-yard gain.
I mean, that's a nice catch, but it's an even better throw by Cavio, because in the zone coverage, as soon as he cleared the linebacker, that ball was in the air, and you have to be pinpoint accurate to hit the seam. Cavio did. Greg Frears, the middle safety, didn't have time to get over and make that play. That's a better throw. The good catch, but terrific throw.
Cavio now 3 of 6 for 92 yards and the 56-yard touchdown to Mac Cody.
Boy, the key to beating zone coverage with your passing game is to have confidence to let that ball go early, and Cavio did it.
Cavio swings it out to the other side for Thornton.
Cavio's pass to Bert Thornton goes incomplete.
And he couldn't hang on. Thornton is listed as a receiving back, not a running back. Saunders is technically the only running back that the Ticats have in the starting lineup tonight.
Wow, yeah, there's Bert Thornton. I mean, he was the fullback blocking on Angelo Slipes one time. He's 6'2", 188. I mean, they've not been in that formation since that occurred. Boy, I love that throw by Cavio to beat the zone. I mean, you have to anticipate that your guy's going to be open and throw it early. He did.
2nd and 10 Ticats. And there's some early movement. Looks like a procedure call against Hamilton. Dave Hack, the right tackle, might have moved a little early. Hamilton impressive so far, now to a 10-0 lead on the Blue Bombers on a very wet night in Steeltown.
Legal procedure. Hamilton, number 63, still 2nd down.
That was Dave Hack. You know what often happens when you play against a defense that you know is going to blitz a lot? As an offensive lineman, at the snap of the ball, you want to set as deeply as you can, as quickly as you can, so you can have a real good look at the stunts that are going to occur in front of you. And Dave Hack just got a little excited there, but that's one of the keys, the offensive line. You watch how quickly they're going to try and get depth tonight.
2nd and 15 at the Blue Bomber 32. Shuffled it ahead for Thornton. And nowhere to go this time for Thornton. Wrapped up by Charlie Clemens, number 48.
You know, against most defenses, that's been a good play. Every team in the league is running that this year, but against Winnipeg with their linebackers, Clemens, Clark, Williams, and Snipes, that is a tough play to run, because these guys are tough to get a block on.
This is about as wet as it gets, Leaf.
Oh, it's ugly night.
It's been raining all day here, but these players came out for the pregame warm-up and were soaked.
Well, see, I don't think your dog would go outside tonight if you opened the back door.
I know he wouldn't. Kerrigan will spot it for Osbaldiston. 1 for 1 so far. Within his range at about the 37. He's 2 for 2. Paul Osbaldiston nails his 35th field goal of the year. He's tried 47, hitting on 73% coming in. Had a pretty nice night against the Ottawa Roughriders at Lansdowne a couple of weeks ago. 8 for 8. Breeders' Crown Harness Race coming up next on TSN, and it's going to be a little sloppy out at the track as well. That's not far from here.
But no, you look at Paul Osbaldiston, I'll get that one out, but John, on a night like tonight in the warm-up, I always look at the kickers and see how they're handling it. He had a terrific warm-up. It didn't seem like the wet conditions were bothering him at all, and I'm not surprised that he's 2 for 2.
Bombers down by 13. They keep it on the ground for Blaze Bryant. Well detected by the Tiger Cats. And Hamilton happy to have Mike Campbell back in the lineup. He missed a couple of games. Peppers flaring down there. Vandalitas decked by Don Robinson, or at least fired fired to the ground.
Well, he was fired to the ground by Calvin Tiggle, too. And Bobby Pandelides is a guy that will lose his temper occasionally and cost his team some roughing penalties. And, you know, he didn't want to let that one die. He wanted to get after Tiggle again. And I mean, I've always found that these things were kind of ridiculous. There's Tiggle and Pandelides, and it will be Tiggle that kind of just throws him away. Well,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
look at
You're right. It was Don Robinson.
He was off balance already.
What little mosquitoes doing in there in the forest?
Well, I think Pandelides might have been off balance from his encounter with Tiggle, but Robinson did finish him off. Second and 8. Blue Bombers at the Winnipeg 37. McDougall has time, and he has Basinger. Basinger escapes and will get the first down. Much needed by the Blue Bombers. Head across the 45. Basinger gets 10. But there's a marker down back in the Bomber backfield.
Well, it's definitely going to be roughing the passer. I'm not sure which Ticat it was, but somebody took a real late shot. I think it was Mike Campbell.
Roughing the passer, major foul. Hamilton, number 99. First down, Winnipeg.
Well, close. Mike Philbrick.
Yeah, it was Philbrick.
He's 99. Campbell's 98.
First down, Winnipeg.
Well, not only do they get the first down by Basinger, they get the roughing penalty 15 more. All of a sudden, Winnipeg finds themselves in Hamilton territory. But you notice the plays that have been successful tonight for Winnipeg have been crossing routes. And, boy, on a night like tonight, it's tough to chase your receiver across this field on a wet field.
Alan Boyko in at one of the outside receiving spots. A couple of play-action fakes. McDougall behind the intended target. Down near the 31-yard line. Robinson moved over with Hitchcock to cover on Myron Wise, number 89.
I mean, the conditions are tough. I mean, that was not a tough pass for McDougall to complete. He had play action with no pressure. Execution to that point was good, but I mean, that was just an ugly throw.
McDougall has one win as a starter in Canadian football. He beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 1995. Second and 10, Winnipeg. McDougall time again, and that one was tipped. Or went off a helmet. Lytle was the intended receiver.
It's third down.
Bombers get a little field position back here at least. Trailing 13-0.
Well, I sure agree with the call. They released both backs, and Bryant and Lytle crossed. And, you know, I think those are the most effective pass plays for Winnipeg tonight, and he just, again, could not hit it. Well, you look at a night like tonight, and for Hamilton, they have to be thrilled to get off to a 13-0 lead. I mean, I'm not saying you can't play catch-up tonight, but it's going to be a little tougher than normal.
Bob Cameron missed one snap from center earlier. Bobbled it. This time he'll throw. And he's on target on the sidelines. I don't think he got enough for the first down. And I'm not so sure he stayed in bounds either.
He's 5 yards short.
Cameron's pass is complete to Bobby Evans.
Evans made the catch, but he's well short of the first down. It'll be a turnover.
Tiger Cats take over first down.
Well, there you see Bobby Evans to the outside. He makes the catch, but I mean, Lee Knight was alert. He saw it coming. You know, teams yell in it when you get to midfield. Watch the fake, watch the fake. And the old fullback had pretty good coverage out there. Had the angle, so he couldn't get the first down.
Absolutely. Knight rejoining the Tiger Cats after a stint in Ottawa earlier this season.
I mean, how he got away from Hamilton, I don't know. I mean, to me, he's always been a Tiger Cat. He was not an Ottawa Rough Rider, even though when he was with Ottawa.
On the turnover, shoveled ahead. Saunders will have a first down for the Tiger Cats. He's dropped right in the middle of the logo for Grey Cup 96 in Hamilton. Ticats have had a solid night. They punted on the first possession and have come away with points on the last three. A couple of field goals and the 56-yard touchdown toss to Matt Cody.
One of the keys for Hamilton tonight is they've enjoyed terrific field position for all their possessions as well.
Camillo has used the shotgun all evening long, looking to the far side. Saunders, the intended receiver. That is is a flag on the field.
Passes incomplete. There is a flag on the field.
They're going to get Greg Frears for interference. He was going to be beaten by Saunders, so he just gave him a bump. I don't think there's any question. You know, sometimes there are good penalties and bad penalties. I think in Winnipeg's case, this was a good penalty because Frears was going to give up the touchdown.
Forward pass interference. Winnipeg, number 9. First down, Hamilton.
Yeah, he got caught again. The blitz, and the middle safety had to come up, and his man was Saunders, and the out and up totally fooled him.
So much for the field position. The Bombers appeared to be ready to gain on the last sequence. After gambling and turning it over, Ticats are right back, closing in on scoring range. Camille for Saunders. And this will be another Ticat first down, or awfully close to it, near the 30-yard line. Yes, another Hamilton first down. Nice game plan they've got working tonight.
Yeah, you don't usually see the running back giving it verbally to K.D. Williams, but after that catch and run, Mike Saunders was giving it to him. There you see his numbers, and of course when they made the deal for Montreal, they knew what they were getting. He's a guy who can get you 1,000 yards if he plays with you all season long on the ground, and of course his pass catching abilities are probably the best thing he does.
Ticats set up at the 30-yard line. Saunders takes the handoff this time. What a great run by Mike Saunders. Down to the 15 and still standing as he gets across there. 17 yards for Saunders. There's another marker down. And I think Angelo Snipes was involved in this one. Confrontation with Davies. Saunders picks up 17. Waiting for the official announcement.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 91. First down, Hamilton.
That's Angelo.
You know, John, the Hamilton offensive line's done a good job tonight. They picked up the blitz pretty well, and guys like Blaine Schmidt, the right guard, watch him pull and lead this play around the corner. This is why Mike Saunders had so much room. That's a great block. So not only are they pass blocking well, all of a sudden these guys are having some fun firing out and getting that running game going as well. Well, I wondered how this offense would react. They played well in this first quarter.
Inside the 10, first and goal to go from there. Cavillo looking for Marcus Grant.
Second down.
And Shannon Garrett had an opportunity for his second interception of the year.
Well, he made a heck of a play down the goal line. You don't want the receiver to get inside position, and he just battled Marcus Grant all the way and was determined that he was not going to let Grant inside. And when you do that, oftentimes you're going to get a chance to pick, and he almost made one there.
Technically for the Tiger Cats, just one running play so far in the ball game.
It was a good one, though.
Touchdown toss. Cody can't get to it. Smack in the middle of the back. Darius Watson was covering on Matt Cody.
Third down.
Very impressive opening quarter for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Up 13-0 on the visiting Blue Bombers on a wet and rainy night at Ivor Wynn. Guys. We got the numbers up from the opening quarter with the Blue Bombers. 134 net yards compared to, or the Ticats 134 compared to 24 for the Blue Bombers. 2 turnovers, both leading to points for the Tiger Cats.
And look at that number right there, though, John. That just will not get it done for Winnipeg. 2 rushing yards in 1 quarter play is not what I think the game plan was supposed to be. Now, Mike Kelly's the offensive coordinator. They came out throwing, but I don't think they can count on Kevin McDougall to beat Hamilton through the air tonight.
Osbaldiston, again, he's 3 for 3.
This is good for 15 yards out.
16-0. Bombers have made a couple. This is Blaine Bryant, his best run of the ball game, and that'll net a first down. Winnipeg got across the 45. Bryant averaging 4.5 yards a carry, starting in his 5th game for Winnipeg and Hamilton tonight.
Well, I think one of the keys for Winnipeg is their offensive line to get some very generous splits between their 5 offensive linemen. Try and stretch that Hamilton front 4 out a little bit and get some good blocking angles, and then, of course, try and take care of Calvin Tiggle in the middle, which they did on that running play.
All Already more rushing yards in the second quarter for the Bombers than in the entire first quarter. McDougall has his target far side, but he's covered quickly. Gary Lewis over to help make the tackle on Blaze Bryant. And he got help from your pal Justin Ring.
I like Justin Ring. You know, he's a young player that just worked special teams at the beginning of the season. Gary Lewis back playing tonight, but Justin Ring, 6'3", he's only about 210 pounds. He's not a big guy, but you know, he played special teams, and all of a sudden he got a chance to start, and he's been in there. This is his 8th start in a row, and I'll tell you what, he has a sack, a couple of interceptions. He looked like he's about a 5-year veteran.
Bombers get a couple. This is 2nd and 8. McDougall delays and finds Bryant's. Running hard, and he'll have another first down. So now the Bombers have started to run the ball, and it's been effective. Back-to-back first downs for Blaze Bryant on the run.
You know what, John? The key again is to block Calvin Tiggle, and watch that. There's Tiggle in the middle of your screen, and they're going to take care of him. Watch the block right there by Dave Van Coen at the center. That allows the middle to open up, and although Tiggle comes over in late, it's not soon enough, and on 2nd and long, the Bombers convert on the ground. And that's not a good sign for the Hamilton defense when that happens.
Winnipeg first down, Ticat 51. McDougall has a strike for a couple of yards. Baker's catch is number 1 for him tonight. 34 receptions, 361 yards in 11 games so far.
Still looking for his first touchdown, though, John.
0 TD.
Yeah, it's been a long time without hitting the end zone.
Numbers on McDougall thus far. He's over 50%, but not substantial yardage. This time he looks deeper. Myron Wise, the target, couldn't quite squeeze it. Don Robinson with him stride for stride. McDougall didn't miss by much.
Well, he didn't miss at all. I mean, he threw his arms in the air, and he should be frustrated because he couldn't have thrown a better ball than that to Myron Wise. Wise just couldn't hang on to it. I mean, they're telling him, hey, I mean, you were right on the money with that one. Myron Wise, man, oh man, he should have had that one.
He's playing his 6th game as a starter.
He'll say the ball was wet. By the time it got to me on that long pass, it was wet.
They're all going to be wet tonight.
Could be a lot of easy excuses tonight, won't there be?
Cameron found that out when one went right through his hands on his first punting situation tonight. This is a low snap. Cameron digs it out. Bouncing near the 20, and Rogers may not have a play. He doesn't. It rolls out just about perfect down to the 3-yard line by the veteran Bob Cameron. 45-yard punt. Close was Myron Wise on that last play. Pretty darn close. Great toss by McDougall.
He was very close. In fact, should have had it. Be the judge. Can you throw it any better than that? No way. And that was pretty good coverage, too. That ball was perfectly thrown.
The tide's up.
You know, John, as I look at this Winnipeg team right now, they're down by 16, have not done a thing in this game. This is a defense that has scored 5 defensive touchdowns, and I think with Hamilton backed up, this defense is thinking turnover right now and try and make something happen to change the momentum.
The Ticats keep it on the ground.
I mean, they've returned 3 interceptions for touchdowns. Angelo Snipes has picked up 2 fumbles and taken them all away. So, I mean, this is a defense that can contribute to the scoreboard, and you have to be thinking they're thinking this way right now to change the flow.
Angelo Snipes can be a factor in any ball game. 14 sacks. That's number 1 in Canadian football right now. Saunders picked up 5. This is 2nd and 5 more necessary. Cavillo. One hopped it to Winfield on the far side. Also in the area was Matt Cody. So the Bombers will come away with great field position after the Ticats punt this one away.
You know, John Kropke doesn't get a lot of recognition playing on the nose, but watch how he ends up coming out here, and he's really the guy that forces Cavillo to have the incompletion. He can't get up the middle, so he loops to the outside. Cavillo, you saw him. He saw him coming and threw that ball away. Well, they got what they wanted. They didn't get the turnover, but they're going to get the field position out of this.
Absolutely. Osbaldiston's first punt, 36 yards. Now he's deep in his own zone.
Well, you look at John Kropke playing the nose in the 3-4 is the most thankless position in football, I think. He's going to give it up.
I would think that's not a bad call. Now Spaldiston retreats and gives away 2.
Ozzie running to touch. There's a
marker down at the line of scrimmage anyway.
I think that's good coaching. Give up 2 and goal for field position. I think that's good coaching.
On the punt exchange, the Bombers would have been in field goal range already, so you just give up 2 at this point rather than even 3. But Winnipeg has turned it around a little bit with a couple of key plays.
Holding. Hamilton, number 25, decline. Safety touch.
Take the 2 points.
Safety touch, 2 points for the Bombers.
16-2. Ticats off to a nice lead of the Blue Bombers at Ivor Wynn. First 5 possessions for the Bombers do not look very impressive, but they did manage to force the Ticats to give up a couple of points in the previous play.
You know, funny, both those turnovers were punt-related turnovers, too, so.
McDougall, near side. Wise hangs on this time. Stops short of a first down.
Reception. Brett Young on the stop for the Tiger Cats.
Brett Young made the stop on Myron Wise. More than halfway to a first down. Second and a couple. 9:37 till halftime. Bombers at the Winnipeg 43.
Trying the ball carrier, Michael Philbrick with the stop for the
Mike
Tiger
Philbrick
Cats.
comes up with a big play on Blaze Bryant on second and a couple. 4 sacks for Philbrick.
Oh, Philbrick right here. Watch the effort. It's all penetration. That's what you want to get. He's on the nose. He beats the block of the center, the old Olay block. Let him go. He gets that initial penetration, and he keeps the Bombers short, and now they have to decide what they want to do.
Started to say 4 sacks for Philbrick on the season. That's a tackle for a loss.
And that's just as good sometimes as a sack.
On second and a couple, it's a big play, no doubt.
You bet. And again, you know, Kropke, the nose tackle, made a good play, and essentially Philbrick plays on the nose, and he made another good play.
This play is whistled down. Cameron got behind the kick. Procedure call against Winnipeg.
Played actually with the whistle.
Ticats on top, 16-2.
Legal procedure. 13 Winnipeg. 3rd down still.
3rd down over again.
It's on Gerald Vaughn. 5th penalty against the Bombers. Ticats have had 4. So 3rd down over again. Rogers remains near the 35. Cameron back at his own 22. Low snap, just got it away. Sam Rogers, no room to the outside, or is there? He lost his balance after escaping the first Bomber tackler. 0 on the return after a 35-yard punt. It's all
For not the Grey Cup, but for the playoff game, because this is Canadian Football League weather. Canadians relish this kind of weather. This is what we need. Canadian Football League weather. This is all we want. Canadian Football League game. Winnipeg is going to lose to Hamilton tonight. You watch and see. We're going to crush them.
Well, so far he's right.
He's right. Miles moving up with the all-time leader for most games played in Canadian football, but he's not going to catch Lou this season because Lou's still kicking.
Yeah, that differential will remain the same as long as they both stay in the league.
Cavillo on first down. Saunders makes the catch. What a great play, then lost the ball. Bombers have an opportunity and have recovered it. Bobby Evans. And it'll go as a turnover. Cavillo gets the completion, and after that,
it was on the ground when it came loose. Damn it!
Well, that's the way down Southern, son. How do you see it?
That was awfully close. I know one thing, that Mike Saunders just blew by Katie Williams in coverage. There you see, that's not even close. And, you know, you be the judge. Here comes the hit. No way.
Well,
that's a fumble. Ball was punched
Southern
out.
didn't see the right angle.
Absolutely. Winnipeg Blue Bombers get their first turnover of the night.
It's not always easy to see from the sidelines. That time, it was definitely a fumble. Punched out before he hit the ground. McDougall on first down, Winnipeg. Has a man open. Couldn't make contact with Aaron Gulliford.
Well, you have to look at this Winnipeg offense and say, I mean, they've had some people open, and Kevin McDougall, I mean, that wasn't even a bad throw, but on a night like this, it's tough to make those very difficult stretched out catches. Its ball is just too wet. I mean, he has been close. His numbers won't indicate. The numbers will look bad, but he's been pretty close a few times, and his teammates have let him down a bit.
Second and 10, Blue Bombers. At the Winnipeg 22. And Cullen stands to request either a dry ball or a little silence.
And that's what the official has to do, is just to stay right there until the center gets up and give him the best opportunity to snap a dry ball.
Second and 10, Winnipeg. McDougall on target to Bryant out at the 31. We'll see when they spot the ball. See how close he was.
Third down.
Third down, it looks like about a yard to go.
This is a tough decision for Cal Murphy. I mean, you think with his offensive line and the two big backs that he has, you know, you might, I mean, the temptation is to gamble. But the temptation is tough because the weather is so bad. I mean, you could have your back slip and fall, and, you know, you're giving instant points away if you don't make this.
Great success rate, though, for Winnipeg in this situation. Third down. A yard to go.
Kevin McDougall wants a timeout. Second and short yardage situations, we saw Mike Philbrick get some terrific penetration and stop Winnipeg short of picking up the first down. I mean, if you're a defensive fan, you follow Philbrick and Mike Campbell, the tackles, and watch Calvin Tiggle in behind them, and, you know, you're going to get a good look at whether Hamilton can stop this play.
Bombers are last in the takeaway giveaway category. They'll try and avoid the turnover here, and that should be the first down. I thought they might have just gone straight ahead. It took a little while to develop. Blaze Bryant, though, makes the first down with no markers.
I agree with you. That's a pretty gutsy call. That was deep in the backfield. Good cut. Calvin Tiggle was in the hole. He just couldn't stop Blaze Bryant dead on the spot.
Bryant up and over the top for a first down. So that gamble pays off for Winnipeg, trailing by a couple of touchdowns here at Iverwin. McDougall has time, and then it's batted down. Gonzalo Floyd got a big hit on that one, number 90.
Yeah, he's had a full tank of gas tonight on every play. He's been coming hard, and from the left of the screen, he comes. There's Gonzalo Floyd, and he doesn't get the penetration, but as both teams have done so well tonight, he's been able to get his hands up. He anticipates, jumps at the right time, and with the big right paw, knocks it down. Both teams done a good job with that tonight.
Second and 10, Blue Bombers. From the Winnipeg 32, McDougall goes deep. Gulliford, the intended receiver, number 84.
McDougall's pass is incomplete.
McDougall was well over the head of his target.
Well, Gary Lewis back in the lineup tonight for Hamilton. They're glad to have him. He had terrific position on Gulliford.
Lots of guys back in the lineup tonight after missing a little bit of time. Rob Hitchcock missed the last game. Mike Campbell missed the last two. Gonzalo Floyd was out last week, and of course Calvin Tiggle missed 11 straight, so there's a lot of guys coming back to the Ticat defense.
And I really agree that that's one of the problems they've had and why they've given up so much yardage. You need continuity. I mean, you know, everywhere in your team you like to have it, but in the secondary it's important. What an ugly night.
Cameron, third down punt, bouncing to Rogers at the 40. Flags are down as Rogers was nailed. 38-yard punts. And Watson maybe getting his second no-yards penalty. Can't dry in Hamilton on a night like tonight.
That's how you
wrap
do
them
it.
in plastic.
That's it.
And Argo fans are invited to either win that day. Final day of the season. Could be a preview of the Eastern Final.
Yes, they could play 2 times in 3 weeks there. 2 times in 2 weeks.
2 times in a couple, right.
Good math, wasn't it?
Like Saunders.
Katie Williams on the stop for the Bombers.
And it was number 44 meeting Saunders again. They might be old pals before this one is over.
Give him 6 yards. Second down, 4 yards to go.
I take that back. They would play twice in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Final game. The Argos would then have the bye because
semi-final in between.
Finishing first.
You got to go with your first instinct.
And again, though, there would be 2 weeks, just 2 weeks in between.
Oh, get out of here.
If you look at it that way. Cavillo.
Look out.
I didn't think he was going to get it away, and he scrambles for a first down. Anthony Cavillo sliding safely in a puddle near the 30-yard line. Scribner made the tackle on a nice play by Cavillo, who looked like he would be sacked at one point, then caught from behind, but he escaped it all.
Now there was Colin Scribner, 72, who's going to have a chance. Watch to the right of your screen. Here comes Scribner, and he gets oh so close, and he just can't wrap up. And Cavillo, with some pretty good balance, is able to hang on and then just go down when he knows he's got the first. That is an ugly slide for a quarterback.
Not the safest way.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what kind of slide that was. Of course, it's a pretty soft landing out there tonight anyway.
First down from the 30, and that one is high and outside. Cody was the intended receiver. He has a couple tonight, one for a 56-yard touchdown.
You know, when you look at how Anthony Cavillo has thrown the football tonight, I mean, that one was overthrown. He really seems like he has had no difficulty whatsoever, and we did talk about that at the beginning. You know, I felt like which quarterback adapted the best. You know, his team would obviously have a better chance than Cavillo. It doesn't seem like this wet ball has bothered him one bit.
All kinds of talent. Missed games this season with a hamstring injury when Matt Dunnigan went down, or else he would have seen a lot more activity. Cavillo looks deep, and this one is grabbed, intercepted by Katie Williams.
Calvillo's pass intercepted
and
by
that one
Williams.
didn't have quite enough on it as Katie Williams celebrates with his 4th interception of the season.
Well, this is a play that they've used about the 3rd time tonight, where they take Mike Saunders out of the backfield to the weak side. There you see him, 32. They're trying to, it's a good matchup against Greg Clark, but Katie Williams, who had no responsibilities, just drifting back into coverage, zone coverage, comes across and picks off the short pass.
Bombers take over deep in Winnipeg territory. Ball spotted at the 4-yard line. McDougall's receiver fell. It was also tipped. Gulliford kind of spun out and went down.
Second down.
With 3 minutes to go till halftime, the Tiger Cats on a rainy night. The Bombers and the Tiger Cats on CFL Live. Hamilton had a great first quarter. The Bombers have yet to put it in the end zone. Ticats gave Winnipeg their only 2 points on a safety touch. McDougall 5 of 7 incompletes.
And he's sorry, John, he's in a tough position here with slightly under 3 minutes to go, and starting from his own 3.5-yard line.
Looking at 2nd and 10 right now as we view it from the end zone. McDougall away from the first wave, throwing on the run. And does he have a strike down there at the 15-yard line. I think he does. Eric Gulliford made the catch to get the Bombers out.
That's a Winnipeg first down.
With an 11-yard pickup, and that's a big play for Winnipeg with 2:36 to go. A little breathing room for McDougall now.
And a good job by Gulliford. He knows McDougall's in trouble, so he's looking for an open area and then just get in there and hope the quarterback finds you, which he did. I like that end zone camera look, though. You really get to see what McDougall sees downfield, and sometimes it's not often too pretty.
Most of it was bad for a while there, but
well, there it is again. And here, you know, you get a chance to play quarterback.
On the run, McDougall almost had that one scooped.
And a great camera angle to see that McDougall, you know, sometimes we talk about tunnel vision. Quarterbacks just don't see the defensive backs because they're so locked in on their receiver. If you looked at that, I mean, Gary Lewis is right in the middle of the screen, and yet McDougall threw it anyway. So, you know, old tunnel vision, and Gary Lewis almost had a chance for a pick. Yeah, he's saying, you know, if I'd been able to bend down a little lower, I might have had it.
It's tough to bend down in wet pants, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Creeper.
You're a beaut. 2nd and 10. Bombers have struggled from start to finish here. At least the finish of the first half.
It's third down.
Well, again, you know, I talked about that in the first half. If they want to run the football, that's the guy they've got to block. And more often than not, they have not been able to block Calvin Tiggle tonight. And again, he makes another play. He's having fun. I mean, here you've been out for almost 3 months. You would expect that he doesn't care what kind of night it is. He's going to have some fun. Look at that. He's got some enthusiasm.
The vacation is over for Tiggle.
Well, I mean, he feels like he's just come out of training camp. He's fresh as a daisy.
Into the final 2 minutes with Cameron standing on his 1-yard line. Ticats get an opportunity here to block one, and they do. But there's a flag down. This will be a touchdown for now. And wait on the flag. There might have been a little bit of offside. Small into the end zone.
By Jesse Small, but we do have a flag on the play.
Gonzalo Floyd or Donovan Wright involved in this play, but there looked to be early movement.
I think it was Floyd.
Hamilton, number 90.
There you go.
Third down, repeat it.
You know, Gonzalo Floyd was playing a game. He was trying to time it perfectly, and he was the one that get called. He actually blocks the punt, too. But, of course, he was in that neutral zone just as it was snapped.
Hamilton offside.
Well, there he is right there, and you follow him. I mean, he gets one step in the neutral zone. I mean, he still makes a heck of an effort. He goes right through Bobby Evans, gets the one hand out. He may try and do that again. You watch the middle, see if he's coming. He's the guy with his hands up. He's got lots of energy, this guy.
Might as well give it a crack. Cameron gets this one away out near midfield. Actually short of midfield. Ticats will draw another marker here.
Cameron's punt taken by Dean Noel.
Noel
They've got flags
moving
on
up.
the play.
That's only a 22-yard punt for the Blue Bombers. So Dean Noel recovering a short kick by Bob Cameron. Almost blocked again here, Leaf.
Well, almost blocked by his own man who was pushed in. There you see number 35, Leonard Jean-Pierre, was pushed almost into his own kicker by Donovan Wright.
Ticats inside the 40 as Cavillo finds Saunders, but not much yardage there. In fact, he might have lost one or two.
You know, if you're a fan of linebacking play, and linebacking play in this league is so good, K.D. Williams and Calvin Tiggle have really shone. I mean, like him or love him, this guy can play. He's got an interception, and you have to appreciate again his enthusiasm on how he plays the game. Sometimes a little different.
He is that.
But he is a player.
No one questions the enthusiasm and commitment to play. Cavillo on 2nd and 12 got big time pressure from KD that time.
Well, you know, K.D. Williams is the guy you always like to be able to play with. but you hate to play against because he is a bull. I mean, he comes hard on every play. Again, here he is, the shot right up the middle. And Anthony Cavillo, watch him. He wants no part of this. He said, hey, I'm getting rid of that. I do not want to get hit by this guy.
So the ball will be spotted at the 40-yard line. Osbaldiston is in. We'll see if this is out of his range, going into a bit of a breeze.
Well, this would be a heck of a kick under these conditions from 47 yards.
Heavy football. Osbaldiston perfect so far tonight. And still that way. This guy is having some kind of year.
They've bothered them. They've come out and they've executed well enough on offense, and defensively they've executed. Special teams have been solid. Haven't made really any mistakes there.
Don Southern was saying yesterday, Matt Dunnigan aside, this is as good as the Tiger Cats have been since they had that solid 4-1 start this season.
Yeah.
Defense back intact. Cavillo playing quite well.
And I agreed with that statement.
McDougall.
McGill's pass is incomplete.
Sean Graham was the intended receiver.
Sampson on the coverage for the Tiger Cats.
Well, Daryl Sampson, ex-Winnipeg Blue Bomber, getting to play against some of his old pals. Not too many of his old pals still around in that receiving corps, but he cuts in front, and I don't know that he got a hand on it, but he distracted the receiver just enough that he couldn't make the catch, Sean Graham.
Graham with 7 receptions for 116 yards so far this season. This will be 2nd and 10. Blue Bombers. McDougall has a little time to look around. Now running for his life and trying to stay on his feet. He slips and is pinned by Mike Campbell. His 8th sack of the season. Jesse Small with a little pressure as well, but Campbell should get credit for that one. And he's happy to be back in the lineup after missing a couple of games.
Well, he's missed quite a few this season. You see 8 sacks. You know, he had 5 sacks in his first 4 games. Then he got hurt, and it really slowed him down. But, you know, he is back now. And, you know, you talked about this team being as good as they are when they were 4-1 to begin the season. I mean, they are hitting their stride at playoff time. They won't have Matt Dunnigan back, I'm sure of that. But, I mean, other than that, this team is about as healthy as it has been.
Get ready in the East, baby, because we're coming back.
See?
I mean, that says it well.
Well, and that's the point.
What's up, everybody in Don Mills, baby? I know you miss me. I miss you.
Yes, he is a Toronto native.
Yeah, but he's kind of a Steeltown guy, isn't he? Well, he likes playing for the Tiger Cats after his years with the Argos.
He's right. You know, this team in the East, Montreal's playing well, too. So is Toronto. It's going to be a pretty exciting stretch run.
Rogers misjudged it and has it trickle back to about the 32, and another flag down. I'm not sure that wasn't Darius Watson again. 52-yard punt into the final minute now. Talking about the Tiger Cats and their chances, they still have a slim chance to finish in 2nd spot on the CFL East. If Hamilton wins all 3 remaining games, including this one, that would mean they would beat Montreal at least once, and the Alouettes would have to lose all of their games, and the Tiger Cats would be in position.
By only 4 points. Edmonton with 2 games remaining, and this is the game in hand that Winnipeg will have over them tonight.
Into the final minute, 53 seconds on the score clock. Cavillo in control with the lead. Saunders, the intended receiver, and really didn't have an opportunity there. Cavillo rushed it a bit.
And again, Saunders and Katie Williams having a pretty good chance. Saunders knew he couldn't catch that ball and kind of threw Katie Williams to the ground. See, there it goes. Boys will be boys, won't they?
Some great old battles between these two teams through CFL history. Cavillo looking at 2nd and 10 with 48 seconds on the clock till halftime. Looks deep for Winfield. And Earl still hasn't caught a pass. Coverage by Gerald Vaughn.
Well, I think if the score stays at 19-2, the Ticats will be thrilled with their first half performance. The Bombers, on the other hand, I mean, Cal looks a little frustrated right now. He knows that he's against the wall tonight with Kevin McDougall as his starting quarterback. Things have not gone smoothly in the first half.
Ken Austin is here and dressed, but a long shot to see any action in this one because of a shoulder injury sustained last week. Reggie Slack, as mentioned off the top, out for the season, one would expect at least. After suffering an injury last week, Gulliford looking to return. That was only the second punt for Osbaldiston tonight. Gulliford finds a way to escape, and then Gerhardt bulldogs him to the ground at the 40. 13 yards on the return, 25.
You know, for him to hit the play tonight, I don't think there's any chance that he would play. They got a shot in the playoffs to take on Edmonton, and you know, you will not see him tonight unless there's some drastic circumstances.
He is the shot in the playoffs, one would guess, but McDougall playing here tonight has to get some game experience if Austin doesn't get ready.
Well, that's absolutely true.
McDougall missed there, looking for Wise.
And he needs a lot of time
he needs
to get
a little
ready.
more than a couple of games of experience, but that quarterback roster in Winnipeg is not looking very good right now as far as depth is concerned.
Well, it kind of looks like Hamilton's did about 2 months ago when Mike Kerrigan was called in to play quarterback. All of a sudden Marvin Graves was signed and Cavillo and Dunnigan were out. Larry Justanis played. I mean, it was a 3-ring circus here.
Total of 5 quarterbacks started games for the Tiger Cats or played the majority of games, the majority of a game for the Tiger Cats.
You know, we've talked about a lack of continuity affecting your football game. How would you like to do that with 5 quarterbacks and only be halfway through the season?
Pass is incomplete. It's third down.
Lytle was the intended receiver. 15 seconds till halftime. Kevin McDougall out of Notre Dame getting his first start this season.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Bombers here can avoid a no yards penalty.
This is a punting situation.
They've
You're
had
right. They've had at least 5. Check out that number for you. Rogers is the deepest of the Ticat returners. Got Matt Cody back there with him, about 4 yards in front. Cameron shanked this one. And there's another penalty marker down.
And guess who?
You're kidding me. Was it Watson again?
Darius Watson again.
This is interesting here because tack on a few yards here and Osbaldiston may get a chance with 7 seconds on the clock, something that shouldn't have happened.
Well, again, good pressure up the middle. Lee Knight almost blocked that punt. Now Hamilton has come close a few times tonight, and Bob Cameron has had a night that he's probably going to forget.
No yards, Winnipeg.
So it'll be first down for the Tiger Cats. 22-yard punt, 13 yards on the return, and then tack on the no yards and see where the Ticats are set up.
Well, I mentioned Lee Knight had. Watch the gap coming right up here. Lee Knight has a great shot to block this punt. There he comes, 25. Almost.
Definitely caused Cameron to kick that one off the side of his foot, or at least hurry it.
Yeah, and he did the smart thing. You could see when he knew he wasn't going to get it, he made sure he didn't create any contact whatsoever.
Well, this will be out of Ozzy's range here, though. With 7 seconds on the clock, they'll spot it down at the 46-yard line of the Blue Bombers.
Well, you quick out to your wide receiver to give you about 6 yards, and that would put him in the same spot he just made one from. So see if Winnipeg's corners come up and challenge a little bit.
7 seconds till halftime. One chance shoveled ahead by Cavillo for Saunders. Can't turn the corner. Can't get anywhere.
Cavillo, Mike Saunders.
Well, you know, it's surprising because Hamilton still had their timeout, and Mike Saunders could have cut that upfield for at least 5 yards. I mean, he chose to go out of bounds, but he might have been able to get 5 more and then call a timeout.
Osbaldiston over 40 yards on this season. closing in on 50%. Not quite there. 6 of 13.
Well, if he makes this one, he'll be right on 50. And you know, like, he made it from 47 on the last kick, and if he gives it the same stroke, he had enough yardage to make it from 51.
4 for 4, this from 51.
He nailed it.
Not enough this time. Osbaldiston finishes the first half. 4 field goals and 5 tries, no markers down. And that'll be the end of the opening half at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Osbaldiston having a nice night.
Well, almost 3 minutes.
Put together the big plays, in particular a 57-yard touchdown toss to a favorite Tiger Cat target, Matt Cody. Looks like a long way back for Cal Murphy and the Blue Bombers as the second half begins and the rain continues here. A few things to smile about defensively, in particular for Don Southern on the other side of the field, as the Ticats spend the next couple of weeks getting ready for the playoffs.
Well, I think for Don Southern, there's no question with Calvin Tiggle coming back, that has given his defense an enormous lift, and they have played much better tonight than they have in the last month or so.
Second half is underway. Freeman Basinger upended at the 31-yard line. Nifty tackle by the leader on special teams for the Ticats, Dean Noel.
And special teams is nothing more than desire. Watch to the left of your screen as Basinger starts to get it into gear. Dean Noel comes from nowhere and trips him up. But I mean, that is just extra effort. He knew he wasn't going to get blocked coming from the outside, and he just put it into high gear and made the key special teams. And you know, you look at games and most of them are decided by special teams, and Hamilton has clearly outshone the Bombers in that department tonight.
Kevin McDougall making his third start in professional football, 1-1. In a couple of games last year, lost to the Tiger Cats, beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In a comeback last season. This year got into one game against the Tiger Cats, threw 3 passes, 2 were intercepted by Hamilton defenders. Bombers on first down. Basinger makes the catch. Pretty solid hit by Brett Young.
Brett Young on the stop for the Tiger Cats.
Spot is going to be about a yard shy, I do believe, of a first down.
I think what Cal Murphy's offense has to do in the second half, I mean, 17 points is not a huge amount to come back from. I mean, certainly they have an opportunity to get back into this game, but I think they have to slow down that Hamilton pass rush. More often than not, Kevin McDougall's had tons of pressure in his face tonight.
Bryant takes the pitch and is stopped short of the first down. Maybe a gain of a half a yard. Justin Ring makes the final tackle.
It's third down.
And it'll be third down and a couple to go.
Well, Calvin Tiggle again sliding down the line from tackle to tackle. Look at how square he is. Shoulders square right there in the hole. And Blaze Bryant is not going to get away. He trips him up just enough, and Justin Ring takes him on. But I mean, when you get to meet the running back right at the line of scrimmage, your running game's not going to have a heck of a lot of success.
Tiggle set him up for Justin Ring to make the tackle on third down and a couple, or second down and a couple. Now it's 32. Bob Cameron back at his 25.
Now, this is not the way Winnipeg wanted to begin this second half. They needed to try and make a statement, and the statement was they couldn't make a first down.
Matt Cody dropped it and bounced right back into his hands. Now he escapes. No room to the outside as he's forced out.
Punt taken by Matt Cody.
Clark was over to square off against the return guy. 8 yards there after a 38-yard punt. Enter Anthony Cavillo. 518 yards a couple of weeks ago, passing against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In this game, 9 of 21.
Yeah, when he had those 518, he threw the ball 51 times. I mean, that is a workout for your arm.
Some heat on Cavillo. He escapes again. Ran well for a first down earlier, and he steps out after gaining another first down. For the Tiger Cats, pressure provided by K.D. Williams, number 44. Cavillo escaped.
Yeah, and really, I think the wet field is what allowed Cavillo to get away from K.D. Williams, because Williams, I mean, he's coming so hard. Here he is. You know, he just can't change directions in time, and Cavillo with a subtle little move gets away. And, you know, he's done some great running this year. That's how he hurt his hamstring originally, but, you know, he's averaged about 8.5 yards a carry, and that is pretty good.
Ticat first down. Nicely out across the 50-yard line at the 51. Cavillo faked a little shovel pass and goes deep. Looking along the near sidelines for Jason Phillips. Might have been a little confusion there. The ball was underthrown. Phillips with 54 catches, 6 for touchdowns on the season. Cavillo has thrown his 10th touchdown pass of the year to Matt Cody in this one. That was Cody's league-leading 11th touchdown reception. 2nd and 10, Hamilton, Ticat 51. Cavillo turns and fires, has Cody, can't escape.
Yeah, John Kroenke got the fumble recovery because the ball was stripped loose. No question about that. Kroenke right out there. I mean, that's pretty good mobility for your nose tackle to get out on a quick screen. And there's 73 right in the middle of your screen. He will actually come up with it. You'll see the strip coming.
Winnipeg takes over first down.
Number 13, Gerald Vaughn with the strip, Kroenke with the recovery, and you know, maybe this is the break that'll finally get Winnipeg out of their doldrums on offense tonight.
Bombers are set up at the Ticat 52. McDougall under the cover. Culliford makes the catch. Close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it.
Culliford with the reception.
Culliford missed the last 2 weeks with a knee problem.
Getting a big cushion from Derek Greer. This is a good call. Makes a nice catch to get down and cradle that football. You know, on this kind of a night, make that catch first and worry about your yardage second.
And it's close enough for a measure.
I'll tell you what, if they're short, they better start converting some of these second and short situations, because they've had about 3 of them tonight that they have not been able to convert.
This one perhaps in the most advantageous field position that they have been in to gamble here. Well, not gamble, I shouldn't say gamble, but convert second and inches here.
Well, of course, you know the call I like here. I mean, second and inches.
Put it up, aren't you?
I don't care if you haven't picked up a first down. I mean, I take a shot at little play action.
Like fucking house on this shit.
Chris Walby playing his 252nd game in Canadian football.
You know, I'm sure if you had Kent Austin or Reggie Slack, you might think a little play action, take a chance here. But with Kevin McDougall, probably you want to just try and make some first downs.
No, he's going for it, and he's sacked. Mike Philbrick. McDougall didn't get it away in time. Well, you wanted to go for it. You wanted to make the play a little more effective than this one.
I agree with the call, but Philbrick right here, I mean, look at, they don't get any kind of real block on him. You got to sell the run, but the center Van Conen's expecting the left guard, which is Kevin Robson, to help him out, but Mike Philbrick makes a heck of a play. And again, second and short, for about the 3rd or 4th time, the Bombers don't convert. Now, I don't disagree with the play. I love the play. But up front, they just got to protect that a little bit better. I mean, that's too easy for Mike Philbrick.
Well, McDougall actually lost his balance on the play and couldn't even fire it into the turf and get another crack at it. Cody dropped it, but got it back. So the Ticats dodged one there. 28-yard punt. 1 on the return. Long Rob Hitchcock, the safety, just got back in action this week after missing the game a couple of weeks ago, and now he's gone for what appears to be the season with a torn knee ligament. That's the story defensively. And Bert Thornton on offense has come up with a hip problem and may not see much more action tonight, if any. So Southern has had to juggle the lineup all season long. Now he needs a safety. Daryl Sampson has been in relief of Hitchcock. are 1st and 10. Shoveled ahead, no one home. Incomplete pass.
I don't know who that was going to, because Mike Saunders, you know, he kind of left there and it almost hit him in the rear end.
See if you can find the intended receiver here.
Well, they're having a chat. I mean, Saunders is to the right beside Cavillo. There he is. You watch him. You know, he not quite sure. He thinks it's a screen, and they called the shovel.
2nd and 10. Cavillo looks over the middle. Cody, nice catch, big gain, 1st down.
That's a heck of a catch by Mac Cody. I mean, this guy has made some big plays tonight in this offense. He's made them all year for the Ticats. And watch this catch. It goes high in the air. He knows he's probably going to take a shot coming into the middle. See how nicely he cradles that football. That's a heck of a catch.
And Cavillo pays the price in the backfield. Well, no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. He's jumping for joy in the backfield.
That's happiness.
That's happy times, yeah. Cavillo has another one batted down. They got intercepted. Touchdown possibility for Scribner. He's down to the 10-yard line and inside that.
Is knocked down and
batted down by Charlie Clemens, claimed by Colin Scribner.
First down for the Bombers.
Well, that's a heck of a play. We've seen a lot of tip balls. Here's Charlie Clemens coming up. He will get the tip, and then Scribner coming up here is going to get the interception. You follow your eyes on these two players, and they're going to make it happen. And, you know, Winnipeg's been searching for something good. Well, that's pretty good right there. The defense, as they have done most of the season for the Bombers, takes over.
Couldn't quite make it to the end zone, but he sets the Bombers up inside the 10-yard line at the 9. Clemens the play, the interception to Scribner. 1st and goal to go. Winnipeg at the 9. Down to the 1, down to the 1-yard line is Blaze Bryant.
Blaze Bryant with the reception.
Let's go, baby. Just going all the way, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Well, they need a few more plays like that from Charlie Clemens and the rest of that defense.
Turn around, turn around. Hey, squirrel. Turn around, go.
A couple of cracks at it for the Bombers at the 1.
Blaze Bryant looked like he was doing the backstroke down there to try and get in the end zone, didn't he?
He certainly did.
2nd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Well, I think you just try and punch it over from here. You're not going to put it up, are you, Leifer?
Based on the last play action, I'd say it's a good idea to keep it on the ground.
McDougall himself, and does he have it? No indication yet.
No way.
Maybe that's why they were throwing the last time on 2nd and inches.
Yeah, field goals aren't going to get it done, Cal Murphy. I don't think this is even a decision. You've got to go for the touchdown here. You know, they're only going to get so many opportunities in this second half, and this is one of them where they have to come away with 6 points.
3rd down. Goal to go at the 1-yard line for the Blue Bombers, trailing 19-2. McDougall couldn't make it across on 2nd and goal from the 1. One crack at it here. McDougall again, and this time appears to be in for the touchdown. He's got it. No markers down. So the Bombers finally get to the end zone.
And, you know, a quarterback sneak is a pretty good choice because it's 6'2", 200 pounds, and you don't have to take any chances of a handoff in the backfield where Hamilton could get good penetration from their front four, which they've shown tonight. I think that was a good call. Let McDougall do it again, and he gets into the end zone. He follows the center, Dave Van Conat, in the right side of that offensive line.
So the Tiger Cats' 4th turnover of the ball game. Finally nets the Blue Bombers a touchdown.
Well, I think the way this game's gone, though, I think the defense for Winnipeg really has to keep Hamilton off the scoreboard if they really want to have a chance to come back here.
First time we've seen Troy Westwood. Bombers down by 10. Kevin McDougall finally finds the end zone, his 2nd crack at it from 1 yard away. Set up on a turnover by the Tiger Cats. 3 plays to cover 9 yards. And
I was hoping you'd have got it.
Starring in the turnover, number 48, Charlie Clemens.
Yeah, not surprising that the defense, who has scored 5 touchdowns this year, would make the big contribution to get Winnipeg back on the scoreboard, and Charlie Clemens with the tip. Well, this is about the 6th or 7th tip we have seen tonight. Both defenses doing a nice job, and Colin Scrivener with the thrill of a lifetime for a defensive lineman to get that interception.
Westwood's kickoff sails through the end zone and over top of Sam Rogers.
Westwood's kickoff goes out of the end zone.
95 yards. Cavillo.
So that will come out to the 25-yard line. No single point when it goes directly through the end zone without being touched. Hamilton 1st and 10 at their own 25. And so for Troy Westwood, he did his job. Hamilton will have to start deep in their own territory. And not a fun spot to be. You've just given up a turnover, and you've got a long way to go to score.
Momentum has shifted a little bit in the second half. Actually, the Tiger Cats were very dominant in the opening quarter, scoring 13 points. And then another 3 on the first sequence in the second quarter. Bombers have hung in. Here's Cody, though. 5th catch of the ball game up near the 50-yard line. Matt Cody.
Matt Cody.
This one may come back. There's a marker down. Cody, to that point, 4 receptions for 113 yards and 1 touchdown.
I believe it's
Roosevelt Patterson holding, or Roosevelt Patterson.
Well, again, the breaks going Winnipeg's way. They made their own break on the interception, and now a holding penalty 1st and 20. I mean, this is a tough deal to convert. What you want to do, try and get half of it back on 1st down, and the other half, of course, on 2nd.
This is Mike Saunders. Grabbed around the ankles and dragged down. That's Bobby Evans in on the tackle, number 33.
You know, you talk about Angelo Snipes as a sacker of the quarterback, and he leads the league in that department. But that time, he took on Blaine Schmidt, stuffed the play in the hole, and allowed Mike Saunders no running room. So this guy can get it done both ways.
Low snap. Cavillo avoids the first rush. Buys a little time to throw. Has Cody a little bit open, but Cody couldn't scramble over for the ball. And case of a wet field right there.
Yeah, I really think the wet field, he couldn't adjust to it, and I think the wet ball for Anthony Cavillo, because that's a ball that normally I think he would complete. Cody was wide open. How he became wide open, I don't quite know.
Likely because of the wet field.
Well, absolutely. The end result is favorable for the Bombers. They're going to get it back in pretty good field position here. They've just scored a touchdown and have a chance to get more.
Osbaldiston at his 2-yard line.
And they've got 11 people up on the line of scrimmage, too. And again, I think this would be pretty good strategy to really try and put the heat on Paul Osbaldiston.
Gulliford waiting near midfield.
Yeah, and he's going to get good field position regardless. And they are coming.
Low snap. Here's Osbaldiston, and he'll have to give up 2.
And Darius Watson, who's had a whole bunch of no yards penalties tonight, comes through and makes up a little bit for those errors, and Hamilton will have to give up 2 points. So Winnipeg on a roll here in the 3rd quarter.
Could be a key couple of points gained by the Bombers. Osbaldiston had a problem here. Difficult snap. Gives up 2 more to Winnipeg. Hamilton tonight. There's been rain on the field all evening long, and a problem for Osbaldiston for the Ticats here. Well, Isley gives up 2, Lee.
Yeah, both punters have had difficulty with this second time in a game it's happened. And, you know, give Paul Osbaldiston credit. He made the mistake, but, you know, he got it into the end zone where you could give up the safety and at least kick off and not give it to Winnipeg 1st and goal on their own 1-yard line.
And hanging on to the ball as well as he crossed the goal line. They've given 6 points if he couldn't. This is Basinger returning for Winnipeg. Out to the 40-yard line.
Ozzy's kickoff taken by Basinger.
18 yards on the return. Kevin McDougall in his first start of 96, good on 13 of 27 for 92 yards.
1st down Winnipeg, ball on their 40-yard line.
Well, this has been a good 3rd quarter for the Bombers. I mean, 19-2, and all of a sudden they've got 9 points, touchdown off the turnover, and now 2-point safety, and they're right back in this one. And for the first time today, Kevin McDougall really has a chance to bring his team close.
Bryant. Markers are down. Bryant is too. And a big splash near the 44-yard line. Indication is against the Tiger Cats, offside. Ticats have 2 games remaining after tonight, at Montreal and home to Toronto on the final week of the regular season.
Well, I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, if it's against Hamilton, I mean, it's going to be 1st and 5 as opposed to, you know, I mean, this isn't a tough decision.
Offside, Hamilton, number 90, holding, Winnipeg, number 39, first down repeated.
He did not give that indication, or yes, that's why there was a discussion.
Or at least we just saw the one indication.
Absolutely.
So penalties each way.
Yeah, there had to be a reason. That was taking just a little bit too long.
1st and 15 facing McDougall and the Blue Bombers. Wise flanks to the near side. McDougall looks the other way. Gulliford sliding out of the backfield. And he's across the original line of scrimmage. Stopped by Justin Ring, number 36.
And you know what? That's a tough play for the outside linebacker because Kevin McDougall rolled away from him, but he had the patience to stay at home and play the screen. And Justin Ring, you know, I'm telling you, he looks a lot more like a veteran than just starting his 8th game tonight. That is a tough play. I mean, it's so easy to get fooled and kind of flow to the field when the quarterback rolls away, but he stayed in his territory and played the play perfectly.
Ring was drafted 5th overall out of Simon Fraser, 96 draft. McDougall on 2nd down, and Wise drops another one. He dropped one for a touchdown. That was in the first half, and that was a key play right there for Winnipeg.
Yeah, and this is a long walk to the sidelines if you're Myron Wise, because I mean, he knows.
Cal.
Yeah, he won't be going near Cal here. I mean, this is a ball that gives you 1st down, keeps the momentum going that you've created in this 3rd quarter, and all of a sudden you kind of just go, oh no. I mean,
he likely didn't say oh no, but
how can he drop that, you know? And hey, this is where you go and find a spot by yourself.
Way down at the end of the bench.
Absolutely. We'll come back and find him in a second, and he'll be all by himself, I guarantee you.
A boomer by Cameron Winfield at the 21. Nice tackle.
Winfield takes the punt
by Hocking. 45-yard punt. Officially no play.
There he is. Not a lot of people to talk to when you've just done that.
Not even the rookie receivers are talking to him.
He won't. No, it may rub off on him. He's getting away from him. It's Sean Graham.
He's standing away.
It may
He's in a
rub off.
backup role tonight. Sorry.
See, I don't want any part of this. The defensive guy will talk to him, you see.
Oh, there's Graham over to say,
he
okay.
pushed him on the back, so get away from me.
Ticats with Cavillo operating from the shotgun. Nice spin move by Cavillo to get away by a little time, and he's halfway to a 1st down.
Well, Angelo Snipes can't believe he didn't get the sack because he had Anthony Cavillo in his sights, and he just flat out missed him. Well, you'll see here, you'll see Snipes from the top of your screen, and he's saying, my fault. Watch him. Here he comes.
6 yards to go.
Takes the inside and gets away with it, but he just can't wrap up.
Cavillo has run the ball effectively tonight. Passing 10 of 26 for 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The rest of the book on Anthony Cavillo. Won't get away from Snipes this time.
Brought down by Angelo Snipes.
Well, Angelo Snipes made up for the last miss with this sack right here. This is a heck of a move on Roosevelt Patterson. Now, you want to see quickness. Here's Snipes here, but watch what he's going to engage and then do the old spinorama. And watch how fast this happens. Roosevelt Patterson does not know what hit him. Right now, boom, the spin, and look what I found.
And Angelo Snipes, coming into the game, was the CFL leader in sacks.
And that is up to the minute.
He has one more now, 15.
27.
Osbaldiston. Across his 10, and it's tipped. Touchdown here. A possibility, not quite.
Osbaldiston's punt is blocked.
Grabbed by Jason Mallett.
Jason Mallett.
And he was wrapped up quickly at the 10-yard line.
Heath Noel makes the tackle. It's another first down.
Slipping away from Don Southern and the Tiger Cats now. 3:49 to go, third quarter.
Yeah, Winnipeg did something pretty smart. Now hold it. Here's Bobby Evans. The guy that's blocking him's over here. He lined up out here at the last second. He comes charging all the way in, and they don't have time to pick it up. You see, his man gets knocked off, and Bobby Evans is going to make the play and get the block. I mean, that is well calculated, and that is a heck of a special teams play by Bobby Evans. His man couldn't get near him because he timed it perfectly, and Jason Mallett gets the recovery.
Bombers at the Ticat 9. Baker makes the catch. He's inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line, and markers are everywhere.
Shannon Baker makes the reception. Gary Lewis is on the tackle. There are flags on the play.
Gary Lewis in on the tackle. This may take a minute or so to sort out.
Necessary roughness. Number 21, Winnipeg. After the play, second down.
Well, that's a tough penalty there. I mean, that's going to cost Winnipeg 15 yards when they're down the goal line. I mean, that's inexcusable. After the play, you've got to keep your composure, and I'll tell you, that'll get the blood pressure of Mr. Murphy up to a pretty good level.
Blaze Bryant taking the penalty, costing the Bombers a great opportunity inside the 5-yard line.
That's unbelievable.
For the Bombers.
So now it's second and goal to go.
John,
On the 17.
We talked, sorry, about Winnipeg not making any big plays in the first half. Well, they've made all the big plays here in the third quarter.
Second and goal to go at the 18. McDougall drills it in, and it's high. Intended for Myron Wise. Robinson might have got a hand on it.
Well,
Don Robinson on the corner.
Yeah, and if he didn't, he certainly broke on the football in such a fashion that he distracted the receiver enough that he had no chance to make the catch. And this is the throwback roll, one way, throw back across the grain, and Robinson was right there with the good coverage on Myron Wise. Myron's had a tough night.
What should have been a touchdown will be a field goal attempt for Troy Westwood.
Well, again, you know, if you're Blaze Bryant, I think there's a few guys on this offense that want to steer clear of Cal Murphy right about now.
He might be down with Myron at that lonely end of the bench. Cameron will spot it for Westwood at the 25.
He missed.
And he shanked it.
Westwood misses.
At home.
Like Cameron had a bit of a problem there. He's just, yeah. All of a sudden, the timing just wasn't there, and the ball was not placed properly at 7, and all of a sudden they come away with 1. And
set up at the 9.
And penalties have been a problem for Winnipeg tonight.
Cavillo stands in. Earl Winfield drops one.
Cavillo Winfield, it's incomplete. Second down.
I think that's maybe the first time that they've gone to him tonight, and he just couldn't squeeze it. He's probably a little chilly out there. Hasn't been getting much work.
Cavillo went to Winfield a little bit earlier, Leaf, but wasn't anywhere in the area.
No, I talked about penalties tonight for the Bombers, and so far, you know, Blaze Bryant, that was their 11th penalty tonight. I mean, that's tough to win ball games when you're making those kinds of mistakes.
Cavillo takes a low snap. Another spin-around move by Cavillo. Just about got nicked from behind.
Well,
Anderson was there, but couldn't get a real good shot at the quarterback.
You know, and when he's making these moves, it's not like he's making them against some slow guys. Again, it was Angelo Snipes, and here's Snipes at the bottom. You watch him, and, you know, Cavillo steps away from Snipes about the third time that he's been able to do that tonight, and Snipes has him set right in the target. Sights are there, but Anderson recovers, Dunstan Anderson, to make the play, but boy, Snipes, he's been there. He just hasn't been able to wrap up on a few occasions.
Anderson was a quarterback and a receiver when he first went to Tulsa.
Yeah, when he was what? When he was about 10 years old? I mean,
he got an early start in college.
He's pretty good. He's a pretty big guy. He's 6'4", 270.
He was a big quarterback and receiver.
I guess.
Gulliford returning for Winnipeg, and he's close to midfield. Only have 3 points since early in the second quarter. And a 13-0 lead after quarter number 1. Got an early field goal in the second quarter and just 3 points since then. McDougall for Winnipeg on first down near midfield. No flags down and some tight coverage there. Boyko was the intended receiver. Coverage by Derek Greer. Believe that?
And if I don't, Les made me believe it. But Derek Greer's a good one, and so is Don Robinson.
Second and 10 for Kevin McDougall and the Blue Bombers. Here comes a little heat. McDougall on target, has a first down. Eric Gulliford gets inside the 40.
Does a nice job here. Good pattern. Get the push on Gary Lewis, and now just settle down and make sure they catch. That's key for the Bombers right now. I mean, they've struggled catching the football tonight, so just secure it and worry about all the good things that may happen after that. Make sure you catch it first.
Gulliford is just back in action after missing 2 weeks, having his knee scoped. On first down, McDougall to his right. Just got it away. And Myron Wise continues to get a pass.
Pressure from
headlines, is he?
You know what? Look to the right of your screen. We'll try and freeze it and see what happens. Right here. There's Jesse Small. They don't get the block. There's Blaze Bryant. And you watch the end of this play, what happens. Jesse Small gets up off the ground. I mean, this is something those linemen practice. Ooh, and you saw that. He just took. Yeah, let's take a serious shot.
Concussion. This is obviously very serious stuff. Jesse Small applied the pressure. Ken Austin, who's not healthy at all, is in at quarterback for Winnipeg now. Dean Lytle.
Calvin Tiggle has been all over the field, and once again he is there to meet Dean Lytle in the hole.
Kevin McDougall groggy on the sidelines. They're obviously checking for a concussion there. Westwood was in for a field goal just moments ago. A bad hold, and he shanked it. Cameron will try and spot it here at the 42. And this one is on target. So the Bombers continue to close the gap on the Hampshire. Look at these numbers, gentlemen. 26 minutes, the time of possession with the Bombers poised for a comeback win, but still trail by 4 points as we begin the fourth quarter on a rainy night at Ivor Wynn. That play was whistled down. The indication is against Winnipeg. Offside.
Offside. Winnipeg, number 44. Still first down.
First down, repeated, 5 yards to go.
Katie Williams got an early start. He's been effective tonight. Has his 4th interception of the season. However, that was deep in Winnipeg territory and didn't lead to any Blue Bomber points, but it did slow down the Tiger Cats a bit. It'll be 1st and 5. Hamilton Ticats at their own 40-yard line. Winfield, no catches tonight, split to the near side. Cavillo goes to the far side of the field and has Jason Phillips stepping out of bounds. A yard or two shy of the first down. He only needed 5. That's his first reception of the ball game. 55th of the season.
Wow, what Hamilton tries to do. Look at this. The I formation out here. And one guy goes up to try and clear everybody out, and then, you know, Jason Phillips just kind of hangs around there. And when everything's cleared out, now there's nobody around him. That's a pretty interesting looking play, but that's, you know, you use I formation. Usually you think of that in the backfield, but receivers sometimes line up that way to create a little confusion, and Hamilton did.
Phillips bailed out a yard shy. This is 2nd and 1. Early movement from Winnipeg. Play again. Whistle down. Is that KD again? KD Williams, but that
procedure. Hamilton 13.
Now you be the judge. Did Patterson move? I mean, I have yet to see it. I don't know about that.
6 yards to go.
Thanks for rock out of his stance. Mostly with 12 penalties.
2nd and 6 for the Tiger Cats now. Cavillo a big lead early. Into the fourth quarter now. The option. Saunders can't turn the corner. Running is
revenge on Williams. He's still trying to figure that penalty out.
Low snap for Osbaldiston. Eric Gulliford stands up near the 30 and moves up.
Well, I want to see how fast he can get him up here. Now, he says he's got quick delivery. We're going to check this out. I don't know. I don't think he can.
Action on the field. Blue Bombers trailing by 4, first down at the 32. Austin at quarterback. And he makes contact with Shannon Baker out across the 40 to the 45-yard line.
With the reception.
Well, now listen. I don't know about yours. Mine tastes pretty.
Terrific service. Blue Bombers with a first down. Austin at the controls now. Markers are down. Austin is on target. Gulliford, Justin Ring. This one may be coming back. Holding the indication against Winnipeg. Great fries.
Whoa.
Holding against the Bombers.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 57. First down repeated.
First down repeated.
Left tackle Brett McNeil.
20 yards to go.
Well, you know, it's a shame Winnipeg has really fought their way back into this game, but I mean, some just awful penalties are hurting them here as we begin the fourth quarter. And you look back to Blaze Bryant's roughing penalty and now a holding penalty, first and 20. I mean, this is tough.
Austin, a one-hopper.
Austin's pass goes incomplete.
Myron Wise has had a tough night. That wasn't his fault.
You know what he's saying, and he's dead on. He's saying to Myron Wise, come back to the football. Every receiver, I mean, you know, you're going to get a good look at it. If you just stay, here's Myron Wise. When he runs the hook, he stays there. You got to keep working back towards the quarterback, and that's what Austin, and he'll tell you. See this, he stops. And if he works back to the quarterback, he makes the catch. And you watch what Ken Austin does. Come back. Come on. You betcha. He's right.
Bombers facing second and 20. Austin goes back to the shotgun. Markers are down. Austin has to go over the middle to Lytle. Eimer win. This one against the Bombers. Procedure call.
That's penalty number 14. That's I don't even name who's doing it.
Who'd you see?
I didn't see anybody, but you know, this is tough on a team. I mean, you struggle, your defense has kept you in, and all of a sudden you got 14 penalties to try and overcome. And a poor special team night. That's a lot.
Ken Austin did not start the ball game. Kevin McDougall did. Austin is in relief now. Looking deep. Myron Wise. Tight coverage. Robinson. Number 9, Don Robinson made a nice defensive play. It's not Myron's night.
No, and you know what? Myron Wise has had an opportunity tonight to be a hero in this game, and you know, he just hasn't been able to handle it. They pick up the stunt nicely. Watch the left side of your screen. They got a loop. There goes Campbell to the outside. A good pickup by Walby, and that allows Austin. And essentially, this is a good throw. Wobbles a little bit, and I'm not so sure Don Robinson didn't make contact a little bit early there, but he got away with it. I think worthy to note that, I mean, Ken Austin, we talk about shoulder problems. He injured a slightly separated shoulder a week ago, but it is his left shoulder, and obviously not his throwing arm, or he wouldn't be in.
But he certainly can't take much heat.
No.
Cameron's kick on third down. Rogers calls for it. Away from one. And another, but it's going to be difficult.
And special teams mistakes, I mean, that is a heck of a lot.
But the Bombers are still in this game, trailing by 4 with lots of time remaining. Over 10 minutes to go as Cavillo goes over the middle to his favorite target, McCody. It'll be a first down, Ticats at the Winnipeg 41. This guy has been the big play guy all night long.
Well, and Anthony Cavillo has recognized that too. I mean, Winnipeg has not been able to handle Matt Cody all night long. I mean, nobody is really close to him there. Darius Watson now is trying to cover him, and he wasn't really close at all.
5th catch for 132 yards. including a 56-yard touchdown in the opening quarter.
That's a big night. 5 catches, 136.
On first down, he goes the other way. This time to Jason Phillips, breaks a tackle. Jason Phillips streaking to the end zone, cut from behind inside the 15. Shannon Garrett missed.
You're right. Shannon Garrett had a chance to make a tackle for little or no gain. Juke to the outside, and Shannon Garrett comes up empty, and boy, Jason Phillips, did he put it in high gear there.
It's a 4-point ball game at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. Ticats threatening to add to their lead as Cavillo looked to the goal line. Cody couldn't squeeze it that time. Frears was over covering, and also one other Blue Bomber on Cody that time. Darius Watson, I believe.
Well, I would think right now, I mean, the Ticats have a lot of weapons in that receiving core, but I think you may want to walk out somebody and, you know, maybe put a bump or a nickel back in to put a little extra bump on Matt Cody, because he is the guy that's really hurt them. Nobody else really has.
2nd and 10. Ticats at the Bomber 13. Cavillo. Look for Earl Winfield, and that draws a flag, or at least there's a flag down in the area. So that'll leave it up to Ozzie. Paul Osbaldiston good on 4 of 5. Missed the long one. No problem at this range at all. The game story for advantage.
The game story, I think, might be this. I mean, this has been going on since we kicked off.
Austin, one fake, and then goes to Boyko, who drew double coverage down there. Greer was in the area. So was Gary Lewis.
You know, next time, but this guy has been hot. That's 5 in a row.
5 in a row, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that is 5 weeks in a row that Matt Cody has gone over 100, and that's a pretty impressive accomplishment.
2nd and 10 for the Blue Bombers at the 35. Austin under the cover. Missed the target. It was Blaze Bryant, but be in the Grey Cup game against the Western champ. The Argos stand in the way, and so too do the Montreal Alouettes as things stand right now. Tiger Cats were impressive in the opening quarter. Things haven't gone quite as well since then, but they're hanging on to the lead by 7 points right now. Sam Rogers falls, gets up, maybe has 1 yard.
You know, there's something interesting for Hamilton and their offense and what they could see come playoff time, and we'll get to that right after this play.
Cavillo's shotgun, where he's been all night. What an incredible catch by Jason Phillips. That could be the game breaker there.
Well, I mean, you talk about good hands. I mean, Cavillo lays this out perfectly. The safety can't get over to help out Greg Frears. He just hasn't been able to get it done tonight. His lateral movement hasn't been there, and Phillips with the great fingertip catch.
Cavillo put that one right on the money for Jason Phillips. Couldn't get it there that time. Matt Cody, but there was heat.
You know, John, the point I wanted to make a few moments ago was you look at Hamilton's offense, and, you know, they haven't functioned too badly tonight on an awful bad weather. They may not have to worry about bad weather come playoff time.
But then there's the Grey Cup if they get by those 2 indoor games, and that'll be right here. And it won't be nice November 24th. Here's Cavillo, what a great run to the 25. He's run the ball.
Some things help them out a little bit playing indoors. I don't know if you're going to see it. Earl Winfield throws a pretty good block coming up right there. He knocked some of Katie Williams down, and that gave Cavillo an extra 5.
Winfield has not made a reception so far tonight. Had to earn his check with that block there. First down, Tiger Cats outside the 25. Cavillo hooked to Winfield. Tight coverage from Damian Lyons. The fans want a penalty, but no flag
these guys play, and when you're in bump and run, you're going to have some contact, and I think this was a good job by Lyons. I mean, Winfield, he doesn't have position. He doesn't have him beat. Maybe a little grab there, but you know, I don't think that warranted. I thought that was just solid coverage.
Second down, 10 to go for Cavill and the Tiger Cats, leading 22-15 into the final 6 minutes now. Cavill at the Bomber 21. Escaped the first rush, fired into the turf for Jason Phillips. No problem. Osbaldiston will come in.
And hasn't this been the situation over the last month for the Ticats? A dramatic win over Ottawa for Ozzie, and tonight he's 5 of 6.
Won the last game over Saskatchewan.
You bet. He's getting a lot of opportunities.
Mike Kerrigan, back from another retirement. He came in and helped the Tiger Cats to a victory. Gets this one down. And Ozzie has another one. He missed.
He may not get a great angle in here, but watch that. I mean, that timing is perfect. And consider it's cold, it's wet, and Kerrigan has only done this. This has been his only job, and he did it very well. Don't think Osbaldiston doesn't know it.
So the Bombers down by 10 points again. Austin at the controls. Blaze Bryant gets the call. Ticats have not been giving up big plays along the ground tonight. It's been tough slugging all evening long for the Bombers running the ball.
Well, they've never really made a wholehearted attempt to try and establish the run. I mean, their game plan early was to try and throw against Hamilton, contrary to what we thought they would try and do. But, you know, they've never really tried to grind away and establish it. They've just run sporadically, and it hasn't been consistent at all.
And no big games. Again, just a couple here, 2nd and 8.
Well, I mean, that tells the story. I mean, on the season, they don't do a lot of it, but tonight's been unbelievably low.
Austin near side has Basinger. And he's taken out by Gary Lewis, 17. Be short of the first down.
Pretty good footwork by Gary Lewis to just stay in his shuffle there and not allow Freeman Basinger, who's a great kick returner in his own right, to get any position. Gary Lewis, you know, we talked about the guys that have come back into the lineup. Gary Lewis, I mean, had great position to make sure he didn't pick up the first down. You look at Brett Young on the other side at halfback, and all of a sudden you've got 2 pretty physical halfbacks. I know Brett Young is for sure. He's always been one of the tougher halfbacks in the league.
Ticats lead it by 10. Bombers into a punting situation. Bob Cameron inside his 30. Low snap. The charge wasn't on, so Cameron's able to get it away. Earl Winfield draws a flag. Out to 30 after his 2.
They still trail by 10. But mistakes is really what has enabled Hamilton to have the lead and what enabled Winnipeg to get it close again.
Calvillo on first down, look for Matt Cody. Coverage too tight by Gerald Vaughn. There's a marker down.
Yeah, I mean, he came up pointing as soon as he hit the ground, and the referee had the flag out of the hip before he even started pointing.
Illegal interference against Winnipeg.
I wonder what Cal Murphy is saying right now.
Forward pass interference. Winnipeg, number 13. First down, Hamilton.
Pass interference against the Bombers. That's a first down for the Cats.
16th penalty against the Blue Bombers. 155 yards in total. Too many. Cavill on first down. Has Earl Winfield, and nicely played by Damian Lyons. He got a hand on it at the last second.
Well, those two have had a pretty good battle here in the fourth quarter, and Damian Lyons 2 for 2 on coverage there.
Earl doesn't get shut down very often. 84 career touchdowns. Hamilton's all-time leader in that department. With an opportunity before this season is over to pass Rocky DiPietro for the all-time yardage lead in Hamilton history. Time is running out. There are only a couple of games to go. Cavillo escapes. Not for long. He's tracked down by Scribner.
Cavillo brought down.
And by K.D. Williams.
Scribner and Williams on the stop.
Yeah, you kind of hold your breath with Cavillo when he stays down just a little bit longer. I mean, they've had, you know, such problems, and as he sprints to the outside, you're going to see some pretty good pursuit by Colin Scribner, and then K.D. Williams will take away the outside, so Cavillo has no chance to get loose. But he, you know, after the sack was made, he stayed down just a little bit longer than normal, and I'm sure Don Southern's heart was in his throat with all the problems they've had at quarterback this year.
Had a chance at a touchdown, but he actually set one up earlier, Colin Scribner. Out from behind at about the 9-yard line. Bombers did go in to score after he intercepted a Tiger Cat pass. Ozzie booms one. Could be a big single point. Bombers decide not to give it up. Gulliford working his way out of the end zone. He's out to the 10-yard line.
Ozzie's punt. Taken by Gulliford.
That leaves his right. Bombers are down by 10, beginning at the 10-yard line. Austin at the controls into the final 3 minutes. Myron Wise makes the catch.
Wise on the reception for the Bombers.
He came back, didn't he?
He came back to the football that time, so the little berating that Austin gave him worked. He filed that one away and worked back to the quarterback and made the catch.
And enough for the first down. Near the 25. Austin swings it out to Blaze Bryant. Bryant comes up a little shy, trying to turn the corner. Gerhardt, number 45, forcing him out. Al Murphy needs a touchdown and a field goal for a tie with 2:16 to go. Win for the Tiger Cats evens the Hamilton record at 8-8. Near side, off target, Boyko. Covered by Derek Greer. Kent seems a little upset.
2 yards to go.
Well, he can't believe on third down they're not going to gamble. I mean, you know, Kent is a beauty. He's never hidden his emotions or his feelings during a game, and right now he's indicating that, you know, if he was coaching, which he kind of likes to do a lot, he would be gambling on third down, not sending in Bob Cameron. There he's pleading his case.
It's a long yard, and that would definitely be the ball game if the Bombers missed it.
Calson, get away from me. I'm the coach.
Has been for a few seasons there. 14th year for Murphy in Winnipeg. A one-hopper to Cameron, but there was no charge on. Rogers will catch it and draw the flag.
Cameron's been taken by Sam Rogers. Flags on the flag.
They need to read the rule book. 4 yards on the return, 34 yards on the punt, and one more penalty against the Bombers. Gord Miller, Glenn Suter.
No yards against the Blue Bombers.
Staying at the Hotel Saskatchewan tonight. 2:02 remaining. Ticats can put this one away now with a first down. Set up the Winnipeg 50-yard line. They're almost in Aussie range right now. Mike Saunders picks his way through for about 6 yards, maybe even 7.
Face mask, Winnipeg, number 91, first down Hamilton.
Angelo had a hold of Dave Hack's mask.
Well, they did, and here are the two of them. They're kind of having a good dance here, and watch how this thing unfolds at the end. He's got Hack's face mask, and you know that's pretty dangerous. You can really hurt somebody's neck permanently. And you know Snipes is a little frustrated. Obviously, he's probably been held a bunch tonight. That goes with the territory when you lead the league in sacks. But that's not too cool to do that.
Snipes had his 15th sack of the season earlier tonight to move into a 2-sack lead on his nearest competitor. Ticats have another first down. Saunders getting close to another one. Should be. He's down to the 20-yard line.
Allen on the stop.
Steady downpour in Hamilton since well before the pregame here tonight. And it continues. Absolutely amazing. Amazing that there were 17,000 hearty souls here. Cavillo himself, and it might be time to surrender. Anthony. Total yards generated by Cavillo tonight will be rather impressive. He has rushed for 68 yards on 6 carries. Very selective runner for Hamilton tonight. And passed for 277. Want to total that up for me quickly?
345.
There you go. Math major Otterbein. How was homecoming last week?
Homecoming was terrific. I was down there on Saturday. The football team didn't play too well, but
well, that's par for the course.
Yeah.
Here's Saunders.
It's academic school.
Not like the days when you were there.
Oh,
with the record. I mean,
fun. Hadn't been down to Otterbein for 20 years in Columbus, Ohio.
Still remember you down there?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Those Fighting Cardinals are quite a group, aren't they?
They had a good first half, and they kind of ran out of gas in the second. But I left halfway through the third quarter.
Okay. Just like when you used to play there.
Well, no, that's not very nice.
That wasn't very fair. Sorry. Second and goal to go. Tiger Cats at the Barber. 5.
Well, you're always so mean to me.
I didn't mean
understand.
To be. I take that one back. That was unfair. Here's Mike Saunders over the top.
Mike Saunders, the ball carrier.
I want to thank you for those fries.
You're welcome. Rick is a good man.
Remember, if you're in Hamilton, look for the fries truck that says Pat's Fries on the side, but Rick's inside selling the fries.
Well, that's kind of, they are. Well,
third down, and the Ticats look for a touchdown. Here, Cavillo won't get it. He's down to the 1-yard line.
That was a funny looking play. I'm not sure that the Ticats had their heart in that one. Kind of interesting that, you know, for Paulus Ballison, we don't want to shove it down your throat, Winnipeg. We're going to win this.
For the Tiger Cats tonight, missing only once.
Well, I tell you, that's a tough choice because Matt Cody might have been pretty high on my list. Of course, I don't get much of a vote in this anymore.
Well, selection was made downstairs. I didn't even have a vote on that.
Well, they asked me when I was eating fries, and I said, don't bother me right now. No, I think Matt Cody had a heck of a game. Paul Osbaldiston did as well. And, you know, you look on defense, and for Hamilton tonight, I think you could have taken a hard look at Calvin Tiggle and Mike Philbrick. A lot of guys played pretty well.
Anyway, Ticats sputtered for a while in the second half, but got it together in the fourth quarter to put enough points up on the board to hand the Blue Bombers their 8th defeat of 1996. Ironically, both these teams have the same record as of tonight. Both are 8-8. A couple of games to go. So the Ticats keep their hopes alive for catching Montreal and maybe finishing in second spot in the CFL East. They have a date with the Alouettes next week. And pending the outcome of Montreal's game this weekend, Ticats may still be shooting for second spots before this is all over and a home date for the Eastern semifinal. Finally, a little smirk on Southern's face down there.
Well, I think he should be happy with the way his team played tonight. I mean, yes, they made some few mistakes. The third quarter was a little rough for them, but in the fourth, you know, they took control. Dennis McPhee, defensive coach. The linebackers giving his head coach a little congratulations. Herman Bogan, a good job as defensive coordinator tonight.
And still 2 seconds remaining. Ticats' next home game is against the Argonauts. We told you about that. They hope to put quite a few people in the ballpark for that one, and maybe have an opportunity to take on the Argonauts in the Eastern final. Hamilton will have to get by Montreal to do that, no matter what the outcome is, 2nd or 3rd place for these Tiger Cats. Gerhard puts pretty good hit on Blaze Bryant on the final play of this rainy night at Ivor Wynn in Hamilton. Cal Murphy ready to phone home. Maybe he's phoning Rick's Fries to get up a couple of side orders for the dressing room.